Did you poop? I just got really distracted because he needs to pee. Did I answer the question?
Thanks, brother.
And action.
Nicole is here.
How does she look?
I think you will be pleased.
I've never done full nudity. And I would say, comparatively, like when you and I did our sex scene together versus when I was in the middle of that room, the middle of the room was so much more nerve-wracking. First of all, there's another person there. So you're like, we were experiencing it together. But I was like, literally had a piece of tape over my vag, and that was pretty much it.
Stop talking and find me something to wear.
I can see why that would be slightly nerve-wracking, yeah. Physicality was so sensual, sexual, menacing that was just like, who is this person? It very much felt like a different human.
For me, it was like more of them trying to move differently. I was remembering in my apartment when I was working on it at home, I was like crawling around and doing the lines because I also didn't want to make it like when I did Maeve. Energy was like here and different and young and bratty. Hi. I was like, what's a different-esque energy? So she had like that like slinkiness, but then she was like mean.
Why are the smoke shows always dubbing? If you hurt the real Nicole.
I did it for Melanie's. I dubbed some of her lines and then they were gonna like mix our voices together to create like an Eve voice, which I thought was very cool.
I told you, I'm leaving.
And they also made me talk in a demonic voice. That was fun.
I'm going to flay your friends alive.
My voice really that annoying?
Melanie, man, you got some pipes on you. Trying to match your screams, I was like,
The scream! I just couldn't even handle it. It shattered my ears. It was so good. Doc kicks me through the door, and then I'm like flying, yelling. But then we did that on a green screen. One of our ADs was holding me from behind, like I had like a team of people in green suits holding me as I'm like flying, and they were just like, yeah, it works, great.
I'm gonna be waiting for you back in purgatory. Nicole, I can't.
The selflessness of Nicole just pushing Wynonna and making sure that it's Wynonna who gets the job done and who saves her sister, I think was so selfless. So Wynonna now has the mission, not only she wanted to save her sister to begin with, but now she needs to make sure that she saves Nicole as well. Plus they're best friends now, so like she doesn't have any other best friends, so she needs to save her best friend.
Nicole wants to help, but she knows that like the final leg of the race has to be Wynonna.
Waverly's reaction to the throne. I sort of took it as not only was like the actual throne, like physically calling her, it being very much like when you're in close proximity, like that is Waverly's calling in many ways. So like the physical pull that came with that, but also just like feeling very torn in regards to like, this is my calling. Does that make any sense, Em?
Absolutely perfect. And I just always appreciate how much work you put into figuring it out from a character perspective. That idea too of like having to put aside your individual wants and needs maybe as a kind of serve a greater good is so much pressure on Waverly, I feel, to kind of like, does she feel pressure to take on the angelic mantle but leave behind her humanity, which includes all these people she loves? I love that push-pull.
The difference between the sisters in their roles as these heirs is that Wynonna's been in it longer, Waverly's just found it, and so Wynonna knows how much you have to lose. Part of Wynonna's desperation was to, I think, obviously selfishly bring her sister back because she knows how much she has to lose that way. Her sister's all she has at the end of the day. But you don't have to give up your love. None of this is fair, so let's just fight it together.
The curse is over, Waves. It's time to start living for ourselves.
That was another scene where I was so happy that we did it. I think one of the things that I loved that you brought up so much was to make sure we were thinking about like the emotional journey of it, because the type of sex you have when you're like having a great day and just had a barbecue is different than like full of immense pain and fear and grief and like being reunited. And we were so clear on every beat of that scene.
When you came over to my house, and it was kind of amazing because I don't know if you remember, but we were like having a good time, and then we'd slip in the like, so we're doing really sexy.
I do remember that.
And even down to like figuring out, like you say, what positions we were going to be doing.
It was like choreographed. We knew exactly what we were doing, what every beat was about. I felt personally like I was able to like be much more relaxed and not be in my head about it.
It just was so reassuring to know how on the same page we were and how important it was for both of us. And like I never doubted that, but it was just a wonderful reminder of how much we care about these characters. And the scene that we did on the stairs, I think was just so beautiful because of what we just experienced together, and it just felt like the most vulnerable I've ever felt.
Well, I felt like super dialed in to you and to
yes,
you. Like
exactly.
I really felt like no one else was there, and we were so close and
just like looking at each other, and so like all this emotion came without really having to do anything, you know, which was kind of amazing, and one of those beautiful moments in acting where you just go like, I'm really glad I didn't overwork this scene. I'm really glad I didn't over prepare, because actually it all just was there in the moment, you know.
There's nothing I would change about it.
Your love is like Christmas.